the basketball brackets are out. So we're going to dive into all those matchups and into the pool with a potential future Olympian next on Varsity Voice presented by SFBN. Catholic League and the team that everybody's talking about. One final thought. Let's get a big, bold prediction. Welcome to another edition of Varsity Voice presented by SFBN. I'm your host, Ari Bluestein. My co-host is always Mike Samsel. And the regular season officially over in the Philadelphia Catholic League ended on Sunday. So we see the first round and quarterfinal matchups here. And we're going to have a good one on SFBN. Our SFBN Game of the Week. Father Judge at Archbishop Ryan, the 4-5 matchup. It's a great matchup and also a phenomenal rivalry.
It really is, and I'm so excited that I get to call this game on SFBN. So thank you, boss, for letting me do it.
You're
but
quite
what
welcome.
A great matchup we're going to have with Isaiah Brockington in the backcourt going up against Rodriguez. These two guys are absolutely going to go at each other. I'm really excited to watch this game on Friday night. This is a traditional, proper 4-5 matchup. Flip a coin.
Yeah, you really can, and the place is going to be jumping. It's a huge rivalry, Northeast Philly, and earlier in the year, Father Judge lost at home to the Raiders. So there's that dynamic, and we'll see how the Crusaders respond. Again, that's our SFBN Game of the Week, Friday night at 7 p.m. Another big game in the quarterfinals on Friday, Roman versus St. Joe's Prep. Interesting matchup here because you've got Matt Griffin, who leads Roman, used to play for the St. Joe's Prep head coach, Speedy Morris, who has been around forever, and they matched up the last day of the regular season, and the Prep won in overtime.
Sure, and this is going to be a great game. Really excited about this one because St. Joe's Prep just scored a win over Roman. Now, congratulations, you beat Roman. Your prize is you get to face a really angry Roman team again heading into the playoffs. Like, congratulations. But Ed Crosswell was so good in that game. He controlled the paint, 24 points, 9 boards, 5 blocks, a transfer in from MCS for the St. Joe's Prep team. Really excited to watch this game. And there's a little bit of master student stuff going on in this one, too. Speedy knows how to win basketball games this time of year. Is he going to be able to score the upset? It's going to be really fun and interesting to watch.
It really should be. And you look at the guards, too. You talk about Croswell, but for St. Joe's Prep, you've got Brian Griffin, who is related to Roman head coach Matt Griffin. And then you've got Kyle Thompson, the son of Michael Thompson, who is a star at Drexel. And Kyle, a really phenomenal, athletic, big guard. So, and they're going to match up against Lynn Greer III. We've talked about him. And then you've got Seth Lundy, a great player, a great big for Roman. Really a good matchup. I don't know if Prep can pull off 2 wins in the same week against Roman, but it should be an interesting game. Now, looking ahead to the bracket, the 1 and 2 seeds, Wood and Newman Goretti. I don't know. For me, I think it's going to be chalk to the Palestra. What do you think?
I agree. It was last week where I said I'm done betting against Wood. And I am. Colin Gillespie, Tyree Pinkron, they're just so good. It's such a strong backcourt, but there's so much talent in the Philadelphia Catholic League. Could we see one of these teams, crop up and beat someone? Yeah, absolutely. I'm not betting against Archbishop Wood, though. I think Wood makes it to the finals. It's that bottom part of the bracket where I think things might get a little interesting. Newman Goretti has a tough road.
Yeah, they do, and they'll have to probably play Roman in the semifinals. Also at the Palestra, always a phenomenal rivalry game there. But I think ultimately it will be Wood, Newman Goretti. But like you said, there's so much talent, and really anybody could win on any given night. We saw that earlier in the year when Judge beat Wood too.
Yeah.
So it should be very interesting, and we will continue on with our basketball coverage next here on Varsity Voice presented by SFBN.
Hi, I'm Tommy Green, former pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies. When I was in high school, it was very important to me to show scouts what I could do. My friends at Payroll Service Solutions are huge supporters of high school sports and the Sports Fan Base Network. If you're a small to medium-sized business in need of a payroll company, contact Payroll Service Solutions. Not only will they take care of you, they will continue to support the community. For more information, contact Payroll Service Solutions at 215-624-0922 or 866-PAISAA.
Flippin' Shakes has everything from burgers to sandwiches to delicious milkshakes. The Sports Fan Base Network crew chows down on a variety of favorites, from classic egg creams to the trending mac and cheese burger. Located at 233 2nd Street Pike in Southampton, you can dine in or take out. Flippin' Shakes, Great food, great service, a flippin' good time.
This segment is brought to you by Valley Financial Group, certified financial planners that organize your financial life and design plans for leaving your legacy. Valley Financial Group, helping you live the life you earned.
All right, so it's been a couple years since the Junior Swimming Championships in Singapore.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about how that was.
Singapore was really, really fun. It was a cramped flight. I'm a big guy, so, you know, coach class on Singapore Airways isn't exactly the nicest, but, you know, nonetheless a great trip. Got to make a lot of friends from around the world. Got to swim against some really fast guys that are actually Olympians now. So just kind of knowing that, you know, you're right there, it's really cool. So yeah, Singapore was great.
And speaking of Olympians, you met a couple of them before.
Yeah, obviously the biggest one's Michael Phelps. He's the GOAT. And he's a great guy, super down to earth, gives a lot of really good advice whenever I get the chance to see him. There's Nathan Adrian, Cullen Jones has been a really good friend of mine throughout these past couple of years. He supported me, and I've enjoyed, you know, watching his whole career. And there's so many more, you know, countless guys that I've gotten to meet, you know, along the ride that are just great people, as long as, you know, as well as great racers. So.
That's great. Do you have any role models, swimmer-wise, or anyone else?
Well, everybody looks up to Michael, of course. You know, like I said, he's the greatest. And, you know, what he's been able to do in the pool is really special, and the way he's been able to, you know, grow our sport just by him doing what he does every day. But I think my parents are probably my biggest role models. You know, they've given me a lot over the past 17 years, and I couldn't thank them enough for that. There's a lot that I have to pay back, but you know, they're great people, and I love them. So, yeah.
And you yourself have quite an inspirational story. You weren't the best swimmer at first.
I was not. Yeah, I failed my deep water test when I was 7 at a summer camp. I was a little too ambitious, but no, my mom got me into lessons that summer, and I loved the feel of the water. I liked being around friends and, you know, splashing around, but that quickly turned into, you know, actually doing laps and practicing at age 8 or 9, and I was doing year-round swimming here at Penn Charter Aquatic Club. I got in the USA swimming meets, and now we're here, so. Yeah.
That's great. And Penn Charter, you're here now. Tell me a little bit about the team this year. Are there any other standout swimmers?
We're low on numbers on the guys' team. The girls are looking really good over the next couple of years. They're really young, and they're really good. They keep me honest at practice sometimes when I get a little bit lazy. But as for the guys' team, we graduated a lot of our really good swimmers. We have Ross Wood, who swims at Tufts, and then we have Jack Mahoney, who swims at Cornell. And then there's Ben Skinner, who's actually walked onto the crew team at the Naval Academy. So that kind of gives you a sense of who we graduated. So we're kind of in a rebuilding stage right now. Our captains are Evan McFadden and Emmett Foley. And they're doing a great job, leading the team through this rough patch. But hopefully over the next couple of years we can get some good recruits and hopefully start to beat a lot more teams than we are now. So.
And you're obviously the tallest on the team, I'm guessing.
Yeah, our team isn't exactly large, but no, size doesn't help as much as you would think. I'm a breaststroker, and that's typically a stroke that a lot of short guys actually do. So it has its advantages and disadvantages, especially when you're swimming guys your size anyway. So. It doesn't help too much.
And I know you played a couple other sports before. Is the basketball coach still holding a little grudge?
No, he's not. Mr. Phillips has known me since I was 7, right when I started sports camp here. But he's been really good about my whole career, and he's been super supportive throughout. I know some nights he might wish that I was out on the court, and I miss it sometimes. How can you not? There's kind of a big old what if, but I enjoyed baseball a lot as a youngster too. But swimming stuck the best, and it was the best environment, and the people fit me, and I just loved it. Yeah.
And you're a junior this year, but are you looking at any colleges?
Yeah, I am. The recruiting process just started for me in September, and there are a lot of really good places, a lot of really good candidates that are on my mind. Can't say that I'm close to making a decision yet, but hopefully it fits me best, in my academic endeavors and in my athletic endeavors. So.
And Reece, you're already so accomplished in the swimming world. Do you feel any pressure moving forward with your swimming career?
There's a little bit of pressure, but I try not to think about it too much. If I make an Olympic team, great. If I make a world championship team, great. If I don't, okay, time to start a real life, get a real job, But obviously, traveling the world as much as possible, being able to represent Team USA as much as I can, and trying to race as fast as possible, around the world, that's my big goal. So.
That's great. Thank you so much for talking, and I wish you all the best.
Yes, sir. Thanks.
Serving the community since 1974, Northeast Racket Club and Fitness Center is perfect for the whole family. We provide a complete schedule of children's activities for ages 2.5 through 12 and a full-service fitness center for teens, adults, and seniors. Our sports arena features year-round roller hockey and seasonal indoor soccer leagues. Tennis, racquetball, aquatics, basketball, dance, karate, group exercise classes are all available to groups of all ages. Stop by and bring the whole family to the Northeast Racket Club and Fitness Center at the corner of Cruisetown Road and Grand Avenue.
Hi, I'm Ari Bluestein, former pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies. In my experience in Major League Baseball, I know how important it is for high school athletes to gain exposure. My friends at Payroll Service Solutions are huge supporters of high school sports and the Sports Fan Base Network. If you are a small to medium-sized business in need of a payroll company, contact Payroll Service Solutions. Not only will they take care of you, they will continue to support the community. For more information, contact Payroll Service Solutions at 215-624-0922 or 866-PAY-EASY.
Get pain-free physical therapy. At PTW, we know that sometimes physical therapy can be tough and painful, so we do whatever we can to get you feeling pain-free again. Each one of our centers is equipped with an Alter-G anti-gravity treadmill or warm water therapy pool to unload your aching joints. From pre- and post-surgery rehab, fitness programs, and work injury rehab, PTW is your go-to therapy provider. Call or visit us online to schedule your PTW visit today.
Hey, you.
Who, me?
Yes, you. Do you like pro sports?
Yeah.
Do you like college sports?
Of course.
Do you like high school sports?
I guess.
Maybe you just don't know much about them.
Hey, voice in the sky.
Huh?
Where can I go to learn more about Philadelphia area high school athletics?
Just watch Varsity Voice every Thursday on TCN and CSN.
This segment is brought to you by Sluggersville, Philadelphia's first premier year-round indoor baseball and softball training facility. With over 40,000 square feet of turf and 22 cages, Sluggersville is the largest of its kind in the area. Call 215-673-1258 to schedule your rental or training session.
Welcome back to Varsity Voice presented by SFBN. And joining us now to break down the District 1, 5A, and 6A brackets, Josh Verlin of City of Basketball Love. And Josh, you're a busy man this time of year, whether it's high school or college, but you've got a lot of teams to analyze in these brackets.
Yeah, really excited for the PIAA going to 6 brackets this year. You know, last year there was that 4A classification, the big schools, 32 teams. And then the 3A classification really only had 8. This year, though, with this 6A and 5A split, you've got 40 teams between the two brackets in these big school categories and a lot of great matchups between the two. So let's jump right in on this 5A bracket with some first-round matchups really looking forward to. Let's start off with this 3-14 game, a Central League game between Penncrest and Harridan. Harridan actually beat Penncrest by 6 in late January, so potential upset watch there. Also really like the 8-9 game, Upper Murray and Strathaven. We'll talk a little more about that one in a second, but really intriguing matchup between some big men. And the 7-10 game, Holy Ghost against Springfield from Delaware County. Holy Ghost, the AAA champion from last year, but now the 7 seed this year, going up against a Springfield team. A lot of juniors and seniors, very experienced team that can really kind of get in your face. So some really interesting games to start off this bracket.
Academy Park actually beat Chester a few weeks ago. Do you think Academy Park kind of got the look out on how to beat this Chester team, or is Chester still the favorite?
Yeah, I mean, when you look at this 5A bracket, like Chester, they're the team that's made multiple district, state tournament runs when they were in the 4A classification. Clearly the beast of this bracket, but some really interesting programs in here. You mentioned Academy Park. They've got a potential upset pick in the first round against Bishop Shanahan, but you look at the 2 seed, Great Valley, had a really awesome year. They're 17-5. They did it all without sophomore Alex Capitano. Really talented 6'4" wing, broke his hand early in the season, and they didn't even think they were going to make it this far without him. But the fact that they're the 2 seed in the district, he just came back. He's healthy now. So they're a really interesting team to watch as they kind of try to work him back over the course of the postseason. Bishop Shanahan, if they can beat Academy Park in the first round, that's a potential upset watch. They're a really interesting team, even though they're that 4 seed. You think they'd be one of the favorites, but this is not a program that's had a lot of success in the districts, and they could really make some noise.
Yeah, I look at this bracket, and I love when the bracket turns upside down, and you've got the lower half seeds making a run. You look at Upper Merion. I mean, they got a chance to knock off Chester. I love the potential upset picks here. Do you think, advancing to Temple in the Final Four, we have every seed that is not a top 4? Do you think the bottom half makes it to Temple?
I think a lot of them will, yeah, absolutely. I mean, that Upper Merion Strathaven game, Upper Merion as the 8 seed spent most of the last 6 weeks without Matt Foss, 6'8" forward, bound for Holy Cross, who can really shoot it. He's now back and healthy, so they're much more dangerous than a typical 8 seed, so they could certainly advance. Ruston with its sophomores, Jake Nelson and Tajir Asparagus, they're a very intriguing team. Phoenixville, the 6th seed, Avery Close, Shaheem Abernathy, 2 more seniors, and they've got a really experienced bunch. They could make some noise, absolutely. And then, so could Wissahickon, by the way. If Wissahickon wins that first game, Springfield Holy Ghost winner could make some noise. Yeah, so I think there's plenty of teams when you look, kind of 6 and lower that could really end up at Temple.
And these first-round matchups are so important because in this 5A bracket, only 7 teams make it to the PIAA playoffs. So those first-round matchups are so important, not only in 5A, but also in 6A. Let's take a look at the first round in 6A. What are some of the matchups you like over there between 9 and 24?
Yeah, it's great. You kind of got rid of that 132 matchup from that old bracket. Every first-round game in this 6A bracket is really interesting, but there's a few especially that stand out. Start with that 16-17 game, Garnet Valley against Methacton. 2 really fun programs to watch. Garnet Valley can light it up. Junior Austin Lachlan had a huge junior season, put in 30 points on multiple occasions. Methacton's got its youth that really leads the way. Junior David Duda, son of the St. Joe's assistant, 6'3" lefty who can shoot, and 6'8" freshman Jeffrey Woodward, big man that you're going to be hearing a lot about over the next few years, make them a really fun team to watch as well. So that's a good game. I really like the CB West Hatboro Horsham game. It's a Suburban 1 matchup there. CB West can slow it down, spread it out. Hatboro's got the Indiana commit Clifton Moore and another really talented senior Jay Davis. And then at the bottom of the bracket, I like the Norristown Downtown East matchup is definitely an upset potential watch. Norristown's been playing some really good basketball of late, got into the PAC playoffs and even won a game there. And that Neshaminy Penwood game down down there at the bottom. Very interesting. Penwood, the Delaware Valley League champions. But if they don't stop this kid named Chris Archer-Diacono, you might have heard of him. His brother was a pretty good player at Villanova. They could be in for a long game against Neshaminy.
And I love looking ahead at this 6A bracket. You know, you talked about the top 8s. They have the byes, but they're going to have a tough matchup, really no matter what, from the winners of those first-round games. And you look ahead to the quarterfinal round, potentially some great matchups. I look at the top, Cheltenham, Springford potentially in that second round. The winner of that game could give Perkiomen Valley some problems. I like that North Penn, CB West, Hatboro Horsham trio we've got going on. And you mentioned at the bottom, Penwood, Neshaminy, Pennsbury, Abington in that mix as well. You know, out of some of those that I mentioned, what do you like the most in terms of second and third round matchups?
Yeah, I think you got to love the potential conference matchups, right? Whether that's a Pennsbury, Abington, you know, they've met before in the Suburban 1 playoffs. Conestoga, Lower Murray in that 7-10 game in the second round. That's a Central League game. North Penn, CB West in the potential second round. That's a Suburban 1 Continental game. North Penn won that division this year. CB West won it last year. Coatesville, Downingtown West in the second round. That's a Chestmont game. So there's so many games where these teams are playing each other for the second, third, fourth time this year, and that always makes things a lot more interesting when you have that kind of familiarity.
And again, in the second round, these matchups so important because in this 6A bracket, 10 teams advance to the PIAA playoffs. So if you get a second round win, you're into state. That's hugely important. Of the top 4 teams in this 6A, who do you think has the most difficult road and the least difficult road to get to Temple and the semifinals?
Yeah, I think Ari already kind of hinted at who has the most difficult road. It's Perkiomen Valley. I mean, first of all, that Garnet Valley Methacton, their second round game, that's going to be a tough game for them. Methacton, that could be another potential conference matchup. But even if it's Garnet Valley's got what it takes to beat Perk Valley. Perk Valley, by the way, 19-3, terrific season. I don't want to put them down. They're a very good team led by Justin Jaworski and Sean Owens. But, you know, when you look at this bracket, there's a lot of parity. Any of these teams are beatable. So that potential quarterfinal matchup between Perk Valley and Cheltenham, great contrast of styles. I mean, Perk Valley wants to slow it down, backdoor cut you, really pass and move and cut, slow things out. Cheltenham wants to in your face. They want to push the tempo. They want to score. They want to run. So I think, you know, that game is going to be whichever style can dominate is going to be which team wins. In terms of the easier road, I think Plymouth Whitemarsh has it, you know, easiest. They're without Amin Williams, who broke his foot late in the regular season. He's going to miss a few games in districts and might miss the rest of the season. They're kind of still figuring that out. But even without him, you know, you look at who they can match up with, Stoga or Lower Merion, Council Rock South or CB East in that second round. None of those teams really have a 7-footer to compete with Naeem McLeod, and he's going to be a serious problem. But all those teams are going to have trouble with PW's press and the aggressive style that they play. So I like PW to make it to Temple. I think these top 4 seeds, any of them could make it, absolutely. But, I think they've got the easiest road of the 4.
Yeah, I look at the bottom half, and I think we're looking at possibly chalk here with PW and Abington making it to Temple. PV and Coatesville probably a tougher path, like you said, Josh. But it should be a lot of fun. We've got a long way to go. And thank you so much, Josh Verlin, for joining us today to break it all down.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Check out what's coming up on the Sports Fan Base Network. Well, it's time to make our picks. And, Mike, we're going to do something a little different today, a little bracketology, if you will. But first, let's pick some individual games here. I want to start in the Catholic League. The 3-6 matchup in the quarterfinals on Friday night, Roman Catholic against St. Joe's Prep.
What a big win it was for St. Joe's Prep. Congratulations. Your reward is another matchup with Roman Catholic. The Cahillites are going to be upset, and they're going to be tough to beat. I'm going to go with Roman Catholic in this one.
Yeah, I'm going to agree. It's going to be really tough for the Prep to beat Roman twice in the same week. The Prep has some talent, but I think Roman just a little bit more talented, so I've got Roman Catholic in this one as well. Okay, in the District 1 6A, a couple of games I wanted to look at here. Wanted to start with the 12-21 matchup, Hatboro Horsham at CB West.
Hatboro Horsham has a really elite level player in Clifton Moore heading to Indiana. I think he's good enough to drag the Hatters to a first-round upset.
Well, I'm going to say CB West. They're the better team, so I'm taking the Bucks, and this one should be a very close game. But I really like Jake Reichwein. He's more known for being a football player, but he's the younger brother of Cal, who's now at Lafayette. He's got some talent. He's got a good basketball IQ, so I think CB West will win that game. And then finally, the 11-22 matchup, Neshaminy at Penwood. Who you got?
I'm going to kind of use my own logic against myself here because I don't think Chris Archidiacono is quite at that elite level. He's good, but not quite there. I think Penwood could get a win here, and if they do, they might be able to go a little further on in the tournament.
I totally agree. I've been on Penwood all year. I think they're a very solid team, solid 11 seed here. And the Chamonix, just other than Archie Diacono, not a whole lot there. So I'm going with Penwood. All right, let's go with our bracketology here. Well, I want to start in the 5A bracket. We didn't pick any individual games here, but who do you have Final Four at Temple, ultimately your champion?
All right, so I've got mostly chalk for 3 of the teams. I have Chester advancing to the semifinals, and down at the bottom I have Penncrest and Great Valley advancing. The one where I go off the board a little bit, I have Academy Park making it to Temple, qualifying for states and getting there. They have winnable matchups with Bishop Shanahan, and then I think Westchester Ruston in the second round. So I'm going to go with Academy Park to make it to the Final Four. Championship game, Chester, Great Valley. Chester, your champion.
I've got the same championship game, Chester over Great Valley. A little bit different, though. I've got Shanahan. I think they win that first round game and then ultimately beat Ruston as well. And I've got Phoenixville as my other semifinalist. The 6th seed, I think they beat Wissahickon in the first round. And then I have them beating Harriton, who will pull off the upset, in my opinion, in the first round over Penncrest. Now in 6A. This could go a lot of different ways, Mike, but who do you have Final Four and champion?
All right, Final Four, I'm actually going to go chalk. I've got Perk Valley taking on Coatesville, and I've also got Plymouth White Marsh taking on Abington. That's where I got things going a little haywire once we get down to the Liacouras Center, though. I actually have Coatesville defeating Perk Valley in that game, and I also have Abington getting the upset over Plymouth White Marsh, the Galloping Ghost, your Suburban 1 and District 1 champ.
Well, I've got the same Final Four as you, the top 4 seeds. I went chalk there, but I go PV, the 1 seed, against the 3 seed Abington, and I've got the same champion as you. I think Abington, they're the most talented team, and I think ultimately the Ghosts will win the D1 title. But it's going to be a lot of fun.
Sure is.
Mike, thanks as always for joining me here today.
I'm excited to get the playoffs started.
And they're going to get started this week. Check out our highlight of the week.
The highlight of the week is brought to you by the Physical Therapy and Wellness Institute. Go to www.ptwinstitute.com to find a location near you.
Steps into the lane, gives it left corner, a free Gardner.
What a move.
Select video equipment for Varsity Voice has been provided by DMP Video. DMP Video. You provide the moment, we'll capture the memories. For more information about our videography services, please go to our website at www.dmpvid.com. The Sports Fanbase Network, this area's leader in high school sports broadcasting, is continually bringing you the most in-depth coverage. Join us for Varsity Voice every Thursday on TCN and CSN, where we'll have interviews with players, coaches, writers, and more, plus analysis, highlights, and a variety of features on major topics in the Delaware Valley high school sports community. Tune in every Thursday at 6 p.m. on TCN and 11:30 on CSN for the best and only high school sports show around, Varsity Voice, presented by SFBN.